When we think of governments and the relationship with information policy, especially in this internet age, we often think of governments and their censorship policies and how they try to block certain kinds of content or filter certain kinds of content that they don't want their citizens to see. But there's a very positive purpose for government and information as well. And the most salient historical examples are those of the public broadcasters. So for example, the United Kingdom and Qatar are two countries that benefit greatly from having very prominent public broadcasters, the BBC and Al Jazeera. And interestingly, reflecting really the nature of network communities, the more the BBC and Al Jazeera report the news that people want to watch and really report the news in an independent way from their governments, actually the more popular these public broadcasters become and the greater the benefit to the governments of the UK and Qatar because of the soft power that these public broadcasters emanate. Another aspect of information policy that's relevant for government institutions is that the more that government organizations and international government organizations are able to adapt to new technology, the better they maintain their relevance. So, for example, the World Health Organization in 1994, when the bubonic plague broke out in a section of India, was not a very prominent player. It released a few news releases, but was unable to play a bigger role. A decade or so later, in 2009, when the H1N1 flu broke out in Asia, the World Health Organization had completely changed its policies. It no longer relied only on information reported by national governments, but instead would take into consideration any information that they found publicly. They were using a network that employed a web crawler to collect information on disease outbreaks all over the world. And also they were part of another network that contained moderated reports of disease outbreaks all over the world. So with a combination of all these kinds of information resources, when the H1N1 virus flu broke out, the World Health Organization was really at the center of international coordination in trying to prevent the spread of that disease. So these kinds of information policies play a vital role in governments and governmental organizations maintaining their relevance.